This video presents declassified and licensed material of the Global Institute of Logic and Cybernetics.
In 1859, Bernhard Riemann proposed a pattern for the distribution of prime numbers. Today, that proposal acts as the primary cryptographic boundary of the digital world. We know it as the Riemann Hypothesis. For over a century and a half, this hypothesis has remained an active vulnerability. It is the line separating deterministic mathematical order from the chaotic ambiguity found in the sequence of primes. We are now terminating that vulnerability by isolating a specific target coordinate, the critical line, where the real part of the function equals exactly 1/2. The strategic framework used to resolve this is Ivan Pasev's Digital Fabrica Theory, or DFT. DFT is a logic architecture built to manage truth and contradiction in infinite-scale systems. In DFT, a theorem is not just a static statement, but a stabilization of logic under recursive pressure. Computational stability exists only on this 1/2 axis. If a zero moves off this line, the entire mathematical structure collapses. To prove this, Pasev deployed a canonical arsenal, a 7-proof matrix designed to stress-test the Riemann zeta function by forcing its zeros off the critical line. This models the zeta function as a harmonic interference field. On the 1/2 axis, frequencies balance perfectly, creating spectral symmetry. Shifting off-axis causes these spirals to fatally decay. Amplitude and phase unbalance, and the destructive interference required for a zero collapses. Fractal tests investigate the function's self-similarity. On the line, duality between high and low-scale terms is preserved, maintaining stable dimension. Asymmetry in the real part causes this duality to degrade. The green vector shows where quantum reversibility fails and the system turns chaotic. We test topology next. On the critical line, spectral gates align, allowing a recursive braid of primes to cleanly close into a stable halting state. Move offline, and those braids snaps. Collapsing red and purple gates show the mathematical flow breaking, making zero formation impossible. This culminates in the ultimate contradiction. An offline zero requires a spectral Turing machine that violates the fundamental laws of computation by construction, because every single mathematical test off the critical line results in a structural or computational crash. We can conclude that all non-trivial zeros must be confined to the 1/2 axis. Proving the location of the zeros is only half the task. To secure this logic, Pasev developed a containment protocol known as Pasev's Infinite Digital Structure Theorem, or PIDST. The first mechanism of PIDST is Ramanujan's summation. It acts as a mathematical filter, taking divergent or infinite data streams and regularizing them into manageable finite values. The second mechanism is the omega-1 boundary. This uses Adrian Mathias's well-founded hierarchies to establish a strict logical ceiling for infinite-scale systems. This boundary prevents infinite descending chains. In recursive systems, these chains act as loops with no base case, which would otherwise crash a network by forcing it into endless logical groundlessness. PIDST provides a guarantee that even at the scale of infinity, our computational logic terminates safely. It ensures that every mathematical process reaches a defined, secure conclusion without paradox. This resolution of the Riemann hypothesis allows the framework to move from pure mathematics into a verification infrastructure for large-scale digital systems. By utilizing the omega-1 boundary, we can build a reflexivity kernel. This kernel guarantees logical termination in cryptography, making it resistant to the specific types of recursive loops used in quantum computing attacks. This same logic applies to decision-making AI, such as the compass justice algorithm. Biases in these networks often arise from recursive contradictions, where the system's feedback distort its own logic. By enforcing a well-founded hierarchy, the algorithm is forced to resolve to a grounded base case. This prevents the system from spiraling into infinite descending chains of automated correlation, aligning the AI with its primary training constraints. The absolute integrity of this architecture is confirmed through formal verification code in Lean 4 and Coq, registered and sealed by the Global Institute of Logic and Cybernetics. The prime number sequence is no longer a vulnerability. Mathematics is officially computable at the infinite scale. Debrief complete.